Hey, thanks for checking out the channel. So today we're looking at this Kay guitar, this Archtop guitar from the 60s, and this is one of the most affordable ways to get into vintage guitars because you can pick these up for less than $300. But the question today is, should you buy one of these if they become available to you? And so here's a few things that I've learned about them to help you make your decision. So first of all, it's difficult to date these guitars because they don't have a model number on them, and you might see people trying to represent it as something that it might not be. The guy who sold this to me said it was from the 50s. Well, I went and asked my cousin who deals in vintage guitars at Olivia's Vintage Music. You can look them up if you have any questions or want to buy some great vintage guitars. And he said, well, it's not 50s with this logo, with this pick guard, so it's from the 60s. So do as much research as you can and try to find out where it's from. It's still pretty difficult to date. Now, the deal breaker that could be for you is the fact that there's no truss rod in this guitar. If you look at it, it says steel reinforced neck. Can we get it there? Well, anyway, hopefully you can see that. Steel reinforced neck. So what that means is that they hadn't figured out how to use the truss rod at the factory just yet. And so it might not be straight. If you've got someone who has put heavy strings on it, left them on there for a really long time, maybe didn't play it for a long time, you could get some neck warping that it'd be really difficult to fix. You can't adjust it. So you need to, if you're ordering this online, you need to ask about the action. You need to get photos of how high the strings are, because it very well may be unplayable and unfixable for, a normal luthier price. It would be very more than the guitar is worth to get it into a playable condition. This one has a perfect action on it though. So if you can get one in person, feel it, see it, then it might be well worth it. The neck is, like I said, this one is nice and straight. It's a very chunky neck. It's a very baseball bat kind of neck. It's a little more narrow than a lot of modern guitars, so that kind of has a nice feel to me. It's easy to make some chords on this guitar because of the shape. I really like the shape. Now, a few other things about it. It would be kind of difficult to put a pickup in here. Not impossible, but you might have to get creative. A piezo might be easy. But, what are you going to use this for? I got it because it has a really cool vibe hanging on the wall, and it sounds jazzy to me without needing an amp. So I'm able to practice some jazz anywhere around the house, out on the porch. And I've put gypsy jazz strings on it, so it gives it more of a mid-rangey kind of bump there. And so these are 10s, so that lightens up the tension. It makes it easier to play and to make some of those more complicated jazz chords, because they're essentially like electric guitar strings. And so that, I think it really has a nice mellow warm tone, and so I think you would be well served if you want to just play some jazz with this guitar, or maybe even some old Delta blues kind of things. So you can get, a very unique kind of sound. To me, it does this vibe well. if you're just wanting to an acoustic guitar to strum, then it doesn't really sound like a modern acoustic guitar. You're better off getting, for $300, getting an import guitar is going to sound much more like a normal acoustic guitar. But for jazz, for blues, you get an Archtop sound. Not very loud, but very unique. So those are a few things that attracted me to this guitar. It's an easy way into the vintage scene, and I think it's worth $300. So check them out, have fun, keep playing.